Good morning, Westplex. It's time once again for All About Nutrition. And it's the program that really takes a look at a hot topic in today's world with the baby boomers getting older and, of course, younger people much more aware of nutrition and nutrition products. And it's brought to you by our friends at O'Fallon Nutrition in O'Fallon, Missouri. You can find them on the web, by the way, at o'fallonnutrition.com. And these programs are archived there. So make sure you check it out, o'fallonnutrition.com. And my guru in the studio, of course, as always, Mr. Nutrition, is David Gall. And David, very good morning to you.
Oh, Steve, I'm really excited this morning. I think we're going to have a heck of a show today.
Well, we want to remind everybody that this program is not meant to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease, and you need to ask a health practitioner before you have any changes to your supplements and diet. So just some important information there. But we're really excited today because we're going to have a superstar guest with us today, correct?
That's right. You know, I'm really excited. This is a all-star in our industry, somebody that I've known about since I was a little kid. My dad got me interested in nutrition. So today we're going to be interviewing Terry Lemerond. This man is really a legend. He was the founder of a famous company in our industry called Enzymatic Therapy. He was the chief formulator of their products, really brought advanced nutritional formulations into the forefront all the way back in the 1980s when this was really in its infancy. I've been impressed with him for a long time, and it's kind of a dream come true to be able to talk to him in person and actually be interviewing him on my own radio show.
Cool.
And, Terry, since then, he's had an incredible new company for the last few years called Europharma. And I've been watching this company for 4 or 5 years now just do some incredible cutting-edge things in nutrition that have been really impressive. And so, it's really exciting to have him on today. We're going to be doing 2 parts. We're going to be doing 2 shows, actually, with Terry. And the first one is going to be on treating pain naturally. And I just want to give you a little bit more of Terry's bio. He has over 40 years' experience in the health food industry, currently the president of Europharma, as I mentioned. And with his wife, Deborah, they also own and operate a natural food store in Green Bay called Terry Naturally. He's created over 400 formulations and has tremendous experience and knowledge in developing natural formulations. And Terry also writes a weekly educational column covering a variety of health topics. You guys have heard me mention on the show Terry Talks Nutrition when we've done our iodine show or our adrenal show. So this is Terry from Terry Talks Nutrition.
Cool.
And you can find that at terrytalksnutrition.com. And Terry's mission is to introduce revolutionary natural products that will improve the health of America. So without further ado, I'll introduce our first topic, which is treating pain naturally. So Terry, I'm going to get right into it, and I want to ask you, what causes pain in the body?
Well, first of all, after such an introduction, I'm afraid to say anything for fear of screwing up such a great introduction.
Appreciate it.
Well, I'll tell you what, pain, we all experience pain, and pain is something that is an alarm system. If we stub our toe on the bedpost or we hit ourselves with a hammer or something, we have pain. And pain is the result of inflammation, of an injury, where we have heat and redness, and those are all very important parts of the healing process.
Mm-hmm.
But when we have chronic pain and we have chronic inflammation, then we have nonstop pain, and we have pain that, of course, is involved with all kinds of damage eventually, where we can have osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, and a variety of other damaging effects in our body. And what we really want to deal with, which are 2 very important aspects of almost all diseases, at least 80 to 90% of all diseases, is oxidative damage and inflammation, and that's what causes pain. And if we can eliminate inflammation, we eliminate pain. And most people try to use an analgesic that covers up the pain because it's pain relieving, but it doesn't deal with the root cause. And all of these pain products that are sold in pharmacies and drugstores, they cause tremendous amount of damage, and they don't really deal with the root cause of the pain, and that's inflammation.
They're just cover-ups.
It just covers up. If somebody gets up in the morning and says, hey, to his wife, I'm going golfing this morning, but gosh, I don't think I can really go on these knees I've got. My knees hurt so bad I can't stand it. And then his wife says, well, Henry, take a couple of aspirin or a couple of ibuprofen or Tylenol, and you're going to be fine. And, well, they are fine. They go out golfing, but what makes it worse is that they don't know that they have pain because they've covered it up. Now they're golfing on 2 bad knees, and makes it worse because they're torquing and twisting and turning and walking on two bad knees. But it's like, the red light goes on the dashboard of your car, and you say, wow, I got to pull over and see what the red light's for, or I've got to go to a mechanic and check this out, or get out the manual and check it out. It's a warning sign. It's something that it could go wrong. If you pull the wire off the red light and you don't know you have a red light anymore, well, pretty soon your engine's going to blow up, and that's what happens to individuals. They don't heed the warning sign, pain, stop doing what you're doing, or get some kind of attention. Talk to a nutritionist, talk to an alternative medical physician, or go to a health food store and find something that's natural, that deals with the pain, deals with the inflammation together, not just mask it and cover it up like a Band-Aid, and then we can get at the actual cause of it.
That makes perfect sense, Terry. It's almost as if people don't understand that even though they've used this analgesic such as, acetaminophen or ibuprofen to mask the pain, they're not aware that there's still underlying damage going on in a process that's still happening that can contribute to further damage.
Oh, absolutely. And then they also jeopardize their health, and because if they're going to take Tylenol, just think about this. Tylenol is responsible for 16,000 deaths annually, and not because it's overused or abused. Even at 20% of its recommended dosage, 20% less than the recommended dosage, we can still have these very serious side effects. And we talk about crack and cocaine and all these bad, dangerous street drugs, but Tylenol is the number one cause of liver failure in the United States.
Oh, my gosh. Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing. And when you can find something in the health food stores that is a good anti-inflammatory, stops the inflammation, stops the pain, gets at the root cause of it naturally, no side effects, what have you got to lose?
Well, right. It makes perfect sense. And that kind of leads me to my next question, which is, I'm sure folks out there are wondering, are there herbal ingredients that have been found to effectively relieve pain?
There are. In fact, when I sold enzymatic therapy, I was off for 5 years because I had a non-compete contract. So I was doing a tremendous amount of research for other companies, and I could do that. That was not outside of my contract.
Perfect.
I had the ability to research and to give recommendations. I just could not sell and get back into the industry actively. And I came across a substance called curcumin, which is a substance that's extracted out of the root of turmeric. Not turmeric, because turmeric doesn't work, because it can't be absorbed systemically. But curcumin is a substance that can be extracted out of the root. It only contains about 2 to 5%. But from all the research, and why I got so excited about it, because I came across 5,000 studies done in the last few years.
Oh, my gosh.
So when you come across 5,000 studies done on one herb, all by different researchers independently of one another, it's not just one institution, but institutions all over the world. Why are they doing all this research on a substance? So this really piqued my interest. And the long story short, I went to India. I worked with the scientists over there. I worked with the company that came up with one of the premier curcumins in the world. It's absorbed 10 times greater than any other form of curcumin on the market. I talked to the researchers at Baylor University, went down there and visited them. I visited the MD Anderson Cancer Treatment Center. And I talked to both scientists that are the premier scientists in the world on curcumin, and both of them said they have never, ever experienced anything more effective in the laboratory than curcumin. And this is compared to drugs, medicines, other natural products. They said it's a powerful anti-inflammatory, powerful pain-relieving, powerful liver restoring factor, powerful immune-boosting factor, powerful antioxidant. We talk about blueberries being a 6,000 ORAC value. Curcumin is 1.5 million ORAC value.
Oh, my goodness.
It treats cancers, prevents cancers, and both researchers at MD Anderson and both Baylor said if they personally had cancer, the only thing they would take would be curcumin.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, it's really just so incredible, and I'm glad that you touched on all this research. I've been reading about that as well. Really big places such as MD Anderson Cancer Center, Baylor University, and a number of others. And, of course, you've actually gone to the source to India, which is, of course, really where the world's premier best turmeric is grown. And, of course, it's what gives curry that beautiful yellow color. And, it's really important, like you mentioned, to understand that, curcumin comes from turmeric like vitamin C comes from an orange. And, are there particular types of curcumin that are better than others?
In fact, there is, because actually, when you find regular curcumin, plain standard curcumin, or what they call curcumin 95%, it's concentrated at 95% when it's taken out of the root of the turmeric. Turmeric, we hear people, even like Dr. Oz said, well, use curcumin or turmeric. Well, that's like saying eat the apple or the tree. You don't get any benefits from the tree. You have to eat the apple. So you don't get any benefits from the turmeric. You have to use the curcumin as a medicinal substance. And in order for that to be absorbed systemically, it has to be bound to some form of fat. And that's what they do in India. They boil it in buffalo milk, they boil it in clarified butter, and that's what increases the absorption for the Indian citizens. And the people in India, the research scientists, looked at the culture, and why are these people getting such unbelievable results? They have 90% less breast cancer, they have 90% less prostate cancer, but they eat several ounces of this a day that's been extracted and then boiled in fat, boiled in butter, and this increases the absorption systemically. So the research company that I work with in India, they come up with the idea of blending it with turmeric essential oils and then bind it to phospholipids and micronizing it to make it into very small particles, which increases the absorption by a factor of 1,000%. And this is really what makes the difference. Right now, because of that factor of being increased, because if you take turmeric or regular curcumin, you can't systemically find it in the bloodstream. You can't measure it.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. In the last 30 seconds of this segment, I'll comment, I've seen folks, including somebody close to me in my life who's had some inflammation lately, and he had a physician that was progressively minded prescribe him turmeric, or curcumin, I should say, but he's doing like a dry capsule of it. And it's really important for folks to understand that the fats are what improve the absorption, and it's not just fats, but it has to be put together in a certain way. And that's what you guys are doing.
Well, in fact, if you take a 750 milligram capsule, soft gel capsule of the turmeric bound to fats, one capsule is equivalent to 500 capsules of turmeric.
Oh my gosh, well, that's amazing. Well, let's leave it there for the end of our first segment, but when we come back, we're going to have some more great questions on natural pain relief and this incredible substance, turmeric, and the beautiful compound that comes from it, curcumin.
And in just a moment, we'll come back with part 2 of today's show, all about nutrition, with David Gull and a special guest. We'll be right back.